Now that we're in the month of Spooktober, there's always that question going around. What's your favorite scary movie of all time? You can go 1978 Halloween, you can go recent to The Conjuring, but I'm going 1996 Scream. Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Trevor. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're talking about my favorite horror movie of all time, and part of this video is because I'm going to be watching all of the Scream sequels this upcoming week. We're going to have long, in-depth reviews of all of them. I'm very excited to get into it, and I made a video on Scream after I just watched it for the first time last year. I will link that above so you guys can click that out. Definitely go check out that video. I had a lot of fun making it. These videos coming up for the Scream sequels are going to be first-time watch reviews, talking about right after I watch them, and this one right here, just talking about Scream and all its pride and glory, because it is my favorite horror movie of all time, my favorite slasher of all time, and Ghostface is my favorite slasher, and I'm very excited to get into the sequels. Let me know what your favorite Scream movie is down below in the comment section. Definitely hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Let's get into Scream. A little backstory going into this. I was not a fan of slasher movies before watching this film. I thought they were a little too cheesy, a little too dumb, and I could never really get behind them. I sat down, I watched this one, and it fully embraced the cheesy, campy vibe that is Scream, and I love that, and I have fallen in love with slasher films ever since, and I appreciate all slasher films that I watch now since this movie, and I give a lot of credit to that to Wes Craven. I mean, he's one of the best horror directors of all time, so obviously he's one of the best horror directors ever, but he fully embraces the campy cheesiness of this movie while they talk about other horror movies all the same.
Do you like scary movies?
What's the point? They're all the same. Some stupid killer stalking some big-breasted girl who can't act, who's always running up the stairs when she should be going out the front door.
I mean, they address several horror movies inside this. It's like they're fans of horror movies inside the movie while they're in a horror movie. The entire time, they're always talking about decisions that people make in horror movies that they're not supposed to do. And there's a character, Randy, who's one of my favorite characters, who's always just addressing things that, oh, you can't do this in a horror movie. You can't do this in a horror movie.
Certain rules that one must abide by in order to successfully survive a scary movie.
You die if this happens, you die if this happens. There's so many rules going on, and this movie follows those rules to a T. I think it's incredibly clever on how they slightly break that fourth wall in a way. Like, they're actually talking to us, kind of letting us know exactly what's going to happen in a horror movie when they're in a horror movie. Well, let's jump back to the beginning of the film. Drew Barrymore's character, Casey, she just wants to watch a scary movie at home, make some popcorn when she gets a mysterious phone call. Not once, not twice, not three, and maybe 4 times from the killer, who at the time we do not know was a killer, but we can definitely put 2 and 2 together, and that is where it sets the tone for the movie. It's this guy who, this killer, is talking about horror movies. She gives her a horror movie trivia question, and he's asking her all these different questions, and if she gets them right, her boyfriend, her will live. If she gets them wrong, they will not. It sets the tone for the film. The killer might be a younger generation because he's talking about movies, but also this killer isn't really going to mess around if you don't play by his rules, and that's what I really love. The character of Steve, he doesn't have any lines. He has tape on his mouth. He's yelling for Casey, who Drew Barrymore's character. He gets brutally killed. Then Casey gets brutally murdered as well, and Drew Barrymore gets a really bad, but there's another kill we'll talk about here in a second. That's the most creative kill I've seen in probably a slasher movie ever. But then it jumps into like a little coming-of-age mystery movie. We have Neve Campbell's character of Sydney, who's coming up on the 1-year anniversary of her mother's death. She was killed as well almost 1 year ago. So a couple days before that, we're dealing with Sydney and her little demons. So she has this anger, this pent-up aggression almost in her. And Wes Craven does a great job of building the mystery as who is the killer? Is it her dad? Is it her? Is it Randy, who knows so much about horror movies, who is a weirdo? Is it her boyfriend Billy? Is it the character Stuart, played by Matthew Lillard? Who really is it? Does a great job of building that mystery. You have these characters who are very likable, characters who aren't so likable, characters who are a little bit sketchy, and characters who you love to not like, and Gale Weathers. I mean, she's absolutely fantastic. And I'm a fan of Gale Weathers, but like, I really like to not like her because she's always out for, you know, whatever's gonna make her the most money, make for the best case. But then you also have a deputy in town who's a little bit clueless that these slasher movies always have, and that is Dewey. And Dewey's such a fun, likable character, and he's so clueless, and it makes for a lot of humor inside this film as well. This film is very funny. I wouldn't even say it's a lot scary. It just goes hard on the slasher, kills, murder, mystery vibe, but it's a very funny movie as well. Has a coming-of-age vibes in it as well. So many trials and tribulations that Sydney's character has to face, and her dad isn't really there with her when it's right around the 1-year anniversary of her mother's death. And honestly, we all thought her dad did it. At least I sure did. I was like, oh my gosh, her dad is the killer. And what's really brilliant about this film is that there is 2 killers. That's what I never saw coming. When I watched this for the first time, I was like, there's no way there can be 2, because I didn't even cross my mind. I thought it was Billy, because I mean, look at the guy. He absolutely looks like a psychopath, but he's in jail. He's literally there, and then she gets a phone call from the killer. who's also Stuart, Matthew Lillard's character, and those two are going back and forth, being a killer, taking turns, and that's what's so creative about it. I love that there was two killers. It's something I never saw coming, and when I watch now and I show people this movie for the first time and there's two killers, they're kind of like, whoa, I didn't see that coming, or okay, that makes a lot of sense, and it does. Ties a lot of pieces together throughout the film, and it really solves the mystery in a really great way, confirms your speculations about Billy, but Stu is always the fun, likable character. I'll be right back!
I'll be right back.
Had lots of funny lines, made fun of the horror movies, made fun of kids, and he was just kind of like the funny character. I didn't ever think of him to be one of the killers. But him and Billy are absolute psychos. When you're talking about brutal kills, you have to go to Tatum's death. She is in the dog door trying to get out of the garage. And I mean, the garage just like snaps her neck and electrocutes her. One of the most creative kills in slasher movie history, in my opinion. It's so creative, and honestly, it's brutal. I close my eyes when I watch it because, folks, it's just a little too brutal. But this film masters everything it's trying to go after. It masters the brutal kills, it masters the cheesy, campy vibes, and it manages to make fun of other horror movies for being kind of dumb and predictable when it falls into one of those itself. And that, my friends, is what makes it so brilliant. And that's what makes it my favorite horror movie of all time. Let me know what you guys think of Scream from 1996 down below in the comment section. Thank you guys so much for watching. Definitely the like button, definitely the subscribe button. Come back in a couple days. We'll be talking about all the Scream sequels. Hopefully we'll get them up in time before the Scream trailer comes out for Scream 5 coming in January. I'm so excited to talk about all these movies. We're gonna have a ranking in this month. We'll rank them again in January. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.